What's up, good people? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back in my home shop, and we're going to get on Huckleberry here and see if we can get the Whoa Nellies installed. For my Canadian friends, Whoa Nellies are brakes, okay? Cop! Whoa Nellies! So we're going to work on trying to get the whole system today, okay, front to rear. And I want to give a special shout out and a thanks to my good friends at Lead Brakes, okay? They sponsored some of the material that you're going to see in this video today. Go check them out, leadbrakes.com. They're also on Facebook and Instatalk and Pictogram, or I don't know, whatever else. I think we got everything we're going to need today, okay? I picked up this pre-bent hardline kit online. Got some soft lines at the local O'Reilly's. That's just a box of the brake hardware that I took off the truck in case we need anything off of it. And this from my friends at Lead Brakes. Okay, this is the disc proportioning valve. If you've been following along with the videos, you know we did a rear disc brake conversion on this truck. And if you're interested in that, you should go back and watch that video. Really, it would be great if you went back and watched the video, even if you're not interested, okay? Just fill some time up, right, on a Sunday evening when there's nothing on TV but 60 minutes, and go back and watch, you know, all my videos. And here we have the brake booster master cylinder that we need. We got our brake pedal rod, looks like a dust boot, bleeder kit, instrucciones, a thank you letter and a warranty, and our combined dual bowl master cylinder and brake booster. Look, it's all golden and shiny like Little Wayne's teeth. It is hotter than Sydney Sweeney out here today. Yes, okay, you're right. That was a bridge too far. It's hot, but it ain't that hot. Okay, we're going to start on the rear axle, mostly because the hardline kit I got, okay, is OEM replacement kit, which is for drum brakes in the rear. So we're going to have to probably do a little, you know, modification type stuff. So we'll start back here and work our way up. Never mind the loud and obnoxious fan, okay? That's so I can breathe. Okay, the first thing we need to do, okay, I didn't do this when we did the install, but now we're ready to make this permanent, is we need to adjust these calipers to make sure they're center on the rotor. I don't know if you could tell, okay, but you can see how I got space here and no space here, and this pad is right up against the rotor. All right, we need to adjust this so that the rotor is floating in the center here. And we do that with this bracket and these shims right here. I got to get the caliper off. And it looks like maybe one shim will do it. We'll try just taking a shim out and then put it back on and see. Hopefully one shim will do it. Just removing one will do it, and this will be easy peasy. I like easy because I'm lazy. I want y'all to look at this, okay? 1, 2, 3. These are wheel weights. I found 3 laying just here. I've been finding them all over the place where they're just falling off these wheels that I ordered, okay, online to be mounted and balanced. Wheel weights flying everywhere. They just pop right off. I need to write these people a strongly worded letter, okay? Somebody in quality control needs to be disciplined, reprimanded. I wish I could remember the name of the place where I got this stuff. I'd tell you. Maybe I can look it up and let you know. Alright, we're going to pop these. I'll show you, but this bracket is all we need to do. Pop these 2 nuts off, take a shim out, put it back on, test fit it. Yeah, you got to pull the rotor off to access the bolt head. Just no big deal. Okay, we'll slide this off. We'll pop one shim. we're going to test fit this and see if that gets us closer to center, and if not, we can add some 7/16 washers or shims. But that's all we're doing, okay, is centering this. So let me get this done, and then we'll go to the next step. I think we're pretty good here. I did go ahead and get the other side also. Now, the next thing is we got to get our rear brake hose on. That's this here. If you're interested, okay, the part number is this. And I assume this stands for brake hose. You know, I'm not a genius or anything, or pen teller, but, you know, BH, brake hose. Okay, let's get under the truck here. Holy crap. Okay, got this little adapter thingy, which I've already cleaned up and painted. But that goes here. So we'll just back this bolt out. And, you know, stick this on here. And, whoops, wrong way, stupid. And stick it back in there. Okay. That's probably more torque than it's supposed to get. We got the hose on, so we're good. That just takes a little clip thing. You can see that little thing there. This is a brake line that would run from here across the tube and then over. And you can see it goes way up in there. That would have been for the, you know, the drum thingies, wheel cylinders or whatever, for the drum brakes. But we don't need all that. This hose off the caliper comfortably reaches beyond the U-bolts, and we got these little weld-on tabs that lead brakes supplied. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this hose or this line in here somewhere, see about getting this tacked on facing backwards like that, and then flare this and, you know, make the connection here. I think that's the best option at the moment. I know it's kind of hard to see or whatever because the lighting, you know, underneath the truck for cameras kind of sucks. But anyhow, we're going to go, I don't know, somewhere right in here. Looks good. And then I'll put a little paint on here so I know where to cut that. All right, get this out of the way. And the first thing is see if we can get that welded on there. I just noticed I got the death bubble on my hose. See there? That ain't looking too swift, and it's probably going to burst at any moment and then start whipping around and taking my face off. So I got to swap that out, and then we'll see about welding that tab on. And luckily I have this one, but every day it's something. That's probably good. That's a bust, okay? My little 110 welder here is not penetrating that axle tube, but that's okay. I have another idea. I got this piece of scrap plate that's already got a couple of holes in it. So I can get 2 straps out of this, and I just need it big enough for my brake line to go through, so I need to make them holes just a tick bigger. So we'll start there, and then I'll show you what we're doing here. And I'm just going to take and mark this out right here. Death wheel. Glasses are fogging up so bad I can't see nothing. All right, let me see if I can, let me get a little light here. Let's see if I can explain what I've done here. So I took this, I cut the strap, okay? This hole is big enough for our brake line thingy, and we'll be able to put a clip, a retaining clip on this side, okay? This, and I got this little section here, and I put a little upward swoop on the end of it here, a little tab. So this will clamp to the axle. I got to get some clamps. I don't have any clamps that big right now. But we'll put this on and we'll metal clamp it to the axle tube. And that little swoop will hold the clamp, make sure it doesn't, you know, do this kind of thing. And then this brake line will come through like this with the retainer. and then the metal brake line will thread into it. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll show it to you. But I'm going to smooth this out a little bit and get it painted so it looks like a, you know, a factory piece. Well, now I get to flare me some brake lines, which is my absolute favorite thing to do. Ow, hot. It's hot. Don't touch it. Dang it. I don't know why I always do that. Dumbbell. I'm gonna file this flat. I don't know about this flaring tool. Aha, that's what I thought. The threads are gacked up on the flare thingy. Gacked. They're gacked. Oh, you know what? I was about to flare that without putting the dang nut on it. That would have been smart. And I bet none of you guys have ever done that before, right? Flared the brake line, forgot to put the fitting on. No, at least not that you'll admit. Don't know if that's a good flare or not. Don't look like it. Oh no, that's pretty terrible. This looks a lot better. This should come out fine. It's going to, okay, one way or another. And I should have done this to begin with too, but I'm gonna hit it with just a little bit of light oil in here so it will behave the way we want it to. I've watched a couple of pole barn garage videos, and I saw one, I want to say, I think it was pole barn garage, but I saw one where it had this cool double flaring thing off of Amazonia or somewhere that made this job a whole hell of a lot easier. I need to look into that. That looks a lot better. You see, okay, what we got here is a classic case of work with what you got, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go like right here with this. I got this clamp. This is the smallest I could get, I mean the closest one to fit at the auto parts store. They didn't have any smaller, and well, they had smaller ones, but the smaller ones they had were too dang small, you know what I'm saying? So the next smallest size was too small, is my point. Let's see, how do I want this on here? Like this is what I'm thinking. Hopefully it'll do what we need it to do here. Oh, it should. I'll just have to cut off some excess. No problem. We'll cut off the excess. Better to have more than you need than not a freaking enough. Oh, I should have got my gun. I'll be all day with this. I'm going to have the Carpendium tunnel or whatever the hell it is here before long. Well, we're getting there. Holy crap. Phew. Ugh. All right, so we're going to slide this in here like so. There we go. All right, and we'll clamp the snot out of it. You'll know you're there when it bends. There we go. Oh, I went too far. I got to flip it around this way. That's what I meant to do. Now we can get this in here and tap on one of our little doohickeys. Perfect. All right. Now we got our line. I'm going to start this end. Well, there we go. We're at, from this junction, we got our line to our little doohickey. It's being held on there with a clamp. Again, I'll cut this off. And then our flex line is not rubbing on anything. And we can get it tightened up here to the caliper. And that should be good. I just need to do the same thing on that side. And then we'll have to go from here and start running the line up toward the front. Well, there we go. It might be a little unorthodox, but it works. You know what I'm saying? It'll work. Line from this junction up to the front is actually two pieces. There's a joiner in the middle. And you just kind of have to decipher. If you get if you get the kit like I did that's pre-bent, which section is which, but here I'll see if I can help you. This one, well, you see it's got this, it was bent here for shipping. It's got little tabs on it that said straighten it out, you know, between here and here, so you do that. But anyhow, this line is the front section, and the way I can tell is that swoop there, because that's going over it, because it runs up the passenger side and then cuts across the cross member over to the proportion valve. So that's what that is, which makes this our rear section, and this should be the end that goes to our junction. Now we're just going to have to do the best we can to get this sorted out, because it runs, it's got to go inside the frame rail down there. Yeah, something like that. Well, I guess actually that wasn't bad at all. It just kind of slipped right in there, which is, you know, great. Lining these things up so they'll thread square is hardly ever any fun. Okay, I'm in right there. Okay, now I can just run along the frame rail, kind of clamp it loosely or whatever as we go, and then that takes us up to, well, it's about halfway. Okay, so the back is back here is all buttoned up. I need to put the wheels back on so I can set the truck down and scoot it back, or flip it around, I don't know, whatever. And then we'll pick it up from the halfway mark, okay, and finish the front, which is where all the real action is, okay. This was just, you know, busy work here, but it looks awesome. Brakes, man, brakes. Well, it's the next day. It got kind of late on me, and of course it's rained, okay. So now it's ookie. Ookie sucks. Anyhow, I got the front of the truck jacked up now and got the wheels off, and you can see my brake line hanging right down in there where we're at about the halfway mark. So now we can get the front line put in and get them joined up. And I got all these brake parts, okay? I've got random, just a big old box of random stuff. Every brake part you could possibly imagine, except for unions. So I had to go to auto parts store and grab these things, okay? This is what's going to put our two brake lines together, because of course, you know, the kit didn't come with it. I mean, why would it, right? But we're not going to let that slow us down, okay? Okay, we adapt, improvise, overcome. I need something to set y'all down on so I can go grab this brake line. Okay, yeah, we'll set you right there. Be still, okay? Just hang on right there a minute. Yeah. We got to wiggle worm this down in here all the way back. What is it stuck on, for Pete's sake? Inside of that. Okay. Okay. Basically, as long as you get it shoved in underneath there and go along the frame rail, we'll just let this rest right here, because this is where our prop valve goes. Whoops. Okay, anyway, let's go into there and get that joined up. Okay. Yeah. Here we be. All right. Look at that. It meets almost perfectly. I'm going to run one of these on loose. I actually brought my wrenches so I could tighten this down, but if I do that, the lines don't twist as well. So I think let's go ahead up to where the prop valve would be, get this line hooked up to the prop valve, and then we'll be able to tighten this up and probably throw some clamps on it. Although I'm not going to clamp it completely down, because I got fuel line that's going to run up in here. All kinds of jazz like that. Well, these rubber caps they put on these brake lines are great for vacuum caps. Also good as chew toys. All right, this is our disc proportioning valve from our folks at Lead Brakes, and this mounts right here. Clearly this is not the original hardware. I don't know what I did with the original hardware. I'm sure it's in a big pile of rusty, greasy, nasty crap somewhere, but that's okay. This random hardware from a hardware bin will work out just fine. This stuff can be a real pain in the butt. There we go, I think I got it. Did I get it? No. Oh, I think I got it that time. I don't know if I did or not. It don't seem right, if I'm being honest. It was probably fine. Oh yeah, okay. I know I got it now. Okay. Now from here I'll be able to bend and tweak and maneuver the lines in place and get it all clamped up. But we're to here, so we can check that off. I managed to position the truck in the exact perfect place where my little rolling stool, okay, 2 wheels are off the lip of the concrete here. Anyway, these 2 little 1/4 inch lines are for the front to each front wheel. So we got this one that's going to go here and here to the bottom port, and then this itty bitty one from the upper port over to the driver's side. Don't tighten it down just yet. Okay, that gets our hard lines, except for the 2 that run up to the, you know, Grand Central Station, Command Central, Starship Enterprise, you know, the booster master thing up here. So what we'll do right now is we'll hook up the 2 hoses to the front calipers and these lines, and then that'll be all our hookups to right here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the rubbery ones on, make the connections to the hard lines, and have everything buttoned up, like I said, up to the prop valve here. There's one's specific to the right and one specific to the left. Listen, when you're doing these, okay, don't forget your little copper washers. That's what seals this jazz up. Well, if it'll ever thread, there we go. Okay, and this little tab just goes in here, and then we can run our line through the hole in the frame there. We'll get that tightened up in a bit. You know, I could not find these online or in the store anywhere, these speed nuts or whatever for these things. Luckily, I saved mine. So, you know, if you're doing something like this, that's the kind of stuff you want to hang on to. I'm just going to, for now, slide that over top, but leave it kind of, I want to get this threaded first. It seems like they bent this one a little early. Dang it, man. It's just fit and fiddle, you know, just gotta be careful bending these, because if you kink them, you're kind of done. Yeah, that's better, I think. There we go. Yeah, yippee-ki-yay. Yeah, that's all there is to that. So I'm gonna get the other one on, button all this up, get everything clamped, and I'll come back to you. I think the next thing is we try to get that booster master cylinder hooked up. Well, I wish you would look at this. It's turned out to be a gorgeous day, which is awesome. You just missed it. I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree and was running from some honeybees, and okay, never mind. Anyway, I got all this buttoned up. Got all the hoses on, everything running to the prop valve. I got all the lines tightened up. Got a couple clamps on. I didn't go crazy with the clamps, just because we're going to be running fuel lines and maybe some wire and some other stuff up there. So no point in clamping the snot out of it right now. Anyhow, let's see about getting this Lead Brakes booster master cylinder on. These are the nuts I pulled off the booster when I took it off the truck, but I just happen to have these shiny new ones in the bolt bin that are perfect. They got that serrated flange on them, so that'll work out great. Well, as far as this goes, okay, I don't know where the rod is, okay, the brake pedal rod, you know, because I bagged and tagged everything and cataloged it very well and put it away, so now I can't find stuff. You know how it goes, okay. Anyhow, it doesn't much matter because Lead Brakes generously provides all kinds of adapters and parts and stuff. So I think we can take these pieces right here. This is basically what we need to make our brake rod. Alright, we're going to run this up, make sure we get good thread on it. Then we got this piece of threaded rod we're going to run in here. Then we got our little brake pedal adapter. I'm going to thread that on. I'm going to thread this on all the way down. We get this in, you know, we may have to adjust it some, but that's fine. Already got the rubber boot on there too, which is awesome sauce-a-rooney. Let's see. I don't know how well you can see. I can't really see it either. But I do know that it looks like I put the rod on the wrong side of the brake pedal. So what I'll do is try to thread it in all the way and then get it around to the right side of the brake pedal. Anyhow, we want that rod on that little pin there. Okay, I got it up on there. I don't know. This is kind of it's fiddly, okay? I ain't gonna lie to you. It's right there. I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of fiddly, but you can use that center link there to get it adjusted, and then where you want it, which I think what we got here is pretty good. And then I'll tighten up that jam nut, and we should be good to go. Let's just test our pedal here. Oh yeah, that's excellent. Now I've got a bracket, okay, that fits here and here. It fits on this nut and the thing that the what's-the-namer just went on. It hits the brake light switch. But it was, you know, crusty, rusty, whatever. So I cleaned it up a little and I painted it. It's out there drying, so we'll have to come back to that. But in the meantime, I think what we can do is get this master cylinder bled. And of course, you really should do it on the bench. So I don't really have a bench or like a vise or anything, but I think we can wing it. Let's see, what does our little thing say? Bench bleeding your master cylinder is one of the most important steps in bleeding your brake system. Indeed. Okay, let's see about getting this done. Don't lose your little adapter. You know, I really can't explain why I don't have a bench vise either. It's not an expensive or complicated thing. It's just a thing. I don't know. I'm not that bright anyway. I think some days I think I was just let by a buzzard and hatched by the sun. Anyhow, we're going to pop the lid off of this. And then we've got this little kit that they provided. Okay, this will make it super simple. And we got these little doohickeys here. We're going to push the fat ends into the little hoses. And then the needle ends we're going to shove into the little ports here. Just make sure they're in there good. And then we got this doohickey. Flips to this somehow or another. Yeah, that seems fine. Alright, I don't have a bench vise, but what I do have is lumber. As long as we hold this level, should be good to go. I'm not going to put a whole lot, I'm just going to put a little bit. Maybe fill each bowl up halfway. .3 brake fluid, okay? Yeah, don't use the other stuff. Alright, I got this magic wand here, and we're just going to gently push, and we'll see those bubbles coming through. And we'll just keep doing this until we don't see no more bubbles. Tiny bubbles in my Master cylinder. There. We're solid fluid. Don't forget that adapter, or you'll get no brakes and you'll be wondering why. What happened to my brakes? Oh yeah, I forgot the adapter. Stupid. Alright, all we got to do now is connect from here to there. Well, these are the last two sections of brake line, and they can only go on here one way, you know. You can't really hose this up. Of course, I say you can't hose it up, but I could find a way to do it if I try real hard. Anyway, I'm going to thread it into the prop valve down here, just loosely. And I got some kind of bracket, if I remember right, that goes here somewhere. We'll figure that out later. Oh no, hurry. I cracked the rear bleeders, okay. James is not here right now to help me get these bled. So I'm gonna let them gravity bleed for a little while, okay? And I got something else I want to try to get done in the meantime. Plus, we'll be able to see if we have any low pressure leaks anywhere. We just kind of let it flow through the system. Okay, back under here with the pedal. We got to put our washer, all right, and our pin on this right here. There we go, to hold that rod on. And here's that bracket I was talking about, okay? And I'll show you how this goes on. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bolt right here. And you see that bolt? This top hole goes over top of the pin that the brake pedal rod is on, and this bottom hole goes over that bolt. And then this little flat part here is what pushes your brake switch. I got to push the brake pedal in a little bit to get it on there. This ain't the easiest thing in the world to do. Holy crap. I went too far. What's up? Okay. There. Now I just got to get the washer and the nut on it. You can't, there's no way you're going to be able to see, but there's a washer, a lock washer and a nut that goes on that bolt. Okay. And then you can see that's coming up, and now we need to adjust this. So I'm going to pop this off. And then I can adjust this out. Just twist this to adjust it out. I'll snap this back on. There we go. I just got to tighten up that nut back there. It would not be possible for me to explain to you just how huge of a pain in the ass this really is. I think I got it. Okay. Holy crap. I got two rear pieces of glass, and I'm not sure which one I want to use yet. And there's a local subscriber that needs one, so I'm going to get them cleaned up so I can make a choice and then let him have the other one. This one came out of Huckleberry, pre-tinted for your pleasure. It's a wonderful shade of purple tint. If you're into purple tint, this is the glass for you. Okay, I'll set this over there to dry and go get the other one right quick. This is the one that came out of Gomer Pile. Apparently hadn't been cleaned since it was doing bivouac drills in West Virginia. Okay, go let this dry with the other one, and then we'll take a closer look. Huh, looks like you got a little water on your face there. Yeah, that's better. I just got to find that brake line bracket, but this, I think, lays over the frame. That brake line bracket goes on top of it, clamps the line, not bracket, but clamps the lines, and then this, you know, is our doohickey for the proportioning valve. So I'll get that put on once I find the clamp for the lines. I wish you would look at all the wheel weights that I've been picking up off the floor. It occurs to me that I didn't share, okay, the part numbers for the two front hoses, because there's a left and a right. This is one of them. I don't know if that's left or right, because I already took them out of the bag, okay? But I mean, you could do a little research on your own. Here's the other one. One is 86550 and the other one's 86551. So just figure out, you know, one of them is left and one of them is right. And I got this other thing that I'm real excited to share with y'all, thanks to a subscriber named Sean, okay, out in Texas. Sean, you're the man, buddy. Appreciate it so much. Look what Sean sent me, y'all. This fella, okay. Oh, crap. I just knocked my damn tire over into my cabinet. It's just been a day. Anyhow, he sent me this, okay. Yeah, he's from out in Texas. And it was basically, it cost him 25 bucks, okay, to ship it to me. And he said, hey, you owe me 25 bucks. Of course, I didn't have any problem with that. I actually sent him more, okay, because this is worth something. And I'm just so thankful that the dude thought enough of me to send this out here. This is awesome, awesome, awesome. Because I could not find any, okay? But I did have in the comments, somebody said, oh, you can get it from Classic Industries. And you can. You actually can get this from Classic Industries. But they want like 140 bucks for it or something, plus shipping, plus tax, okay? And I got, Sean was like, I don't need it, I'll send it to you, okay? And here we go. Look at that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the missing panel I needed for the tailgate. Isn't that freaking awesome? And it's in great shape. I just got to, you know, get it sanded down and paint it, put a new seal on it or whatever, and put it on the truck. We'll be good to go. So, thanks a lot, Sean. Appreciate it. You guys, you subscribers and commenters and members especially, y'all are awesome, and I appreciate everything. So that's fantastic. So after looking at them two pieces of glass a little closer, we're going to go ahead and go with the one out of Gomer Pile. So there'll be a video coming up where I get that cleaned up, and I got to order some weather stripping and all that, and we'll get that loaded into the tailgate. So that'll be coming up. I think the next thing we're going to knock out is maybe the two doors. Maybe we tackle the doors and get them done and get them hung. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. You know, I'm pretty unpredictable that way. I go whichever the way the wind is blowing. Anyhow, that's all I got time for right now. So I think that's going to do it for this video. Again, a big shout out and a special thanks to Lead Brakes for providing the booster, master cylinder. They provided the rotors and brake kits for the front, and then the rear disc brake conversion kit. They really helped out on the old Huckleberry project quite a bit. You know, do what you can to support Lead Brakes. They're on the web, and they do all the social media stuff, Instagram, Facebook, TikToker, you know what I'm saying. But they really were a big help, and I really appreciate all their support. So help me out by helping them, okay? But we'll be back real soon when it's time to tackle something else. Hopefully it won't be 40,000 degrees, and hopefully it's not 40,000 degrees where you are. Remember to like, share, subscribe if you can. Consider becoming a channel member. Is a good way to support the channel. Either way, okay, whatever you do, get off the couch and go wrench on something, okay? I gotta make my way to Texas and do a shot of whiskey with my new friend Sean.